Every time you're back in the mind, you shut the curtains. Every time you're aware for just a moment, those curtains are open. The grace is always there. Do you see? The Guru's wisdom is always there. It's, are you always there is the question. So we're coming to the latter half, towards the end of this epic journey that we've started of the Mool Mantar. And Guruji here is introducing a brand new concept. So far, every idea has evolved from the idea of the oneness that we've seen, ik. So Guru Sahib talks about the ik, and then Omkar is almost its in unfolding creative nature. Its name is existence, existential, truth, permanent. It is doing everything, it's part of everything. It exists beyond time, beyond past and present and future. It has no death, it is beyond death, beyond time, beyond birth. And it requires nothing of you, Satpal. It is self-reliant, self-sustaining. Here, Guruji introduces a new concept, and that is the idea of Guru, Gur Parsaad. And it's saying that everything that you've learnt from Ik Onkar all the way to now isn't attainable on your own. You need help. We need guidance. We need direction on how. It's like Guru has shown you the map, shown you the description of what it looks like, what you're aiming for. Now, the rest is guidance. How do you do this? How do you get here? And here, Guruji is using this idea that you need a Guru. So today, we're going to spend time trying to unfold this idea. What is this Guru? What do we mean? Because nothing so far prepares us for this concept. There's nothing that we've been taught so far from Ik Onkar to Satpal that tells us, well, what do you mean we need a Guru? Which Guru? What does the Guru look like? Where is Guru? How do we know when we found the Guru? Does the Guru give its grace to everyone? Does Gur Parsaad belong to everyone? Is the Guru selective? Yeah? So there's lots of questions that come up with this phrase. So as before, we start by looking at the spelling. Now, in previous examples, where we've seen that the word has ended with a sihari, that word has meant it's a feminine word. But there are many reasons why a word can end with a sihari. Another reason is that it is a verb. Going back to your primary school grammar, if you remember, there are words like nouns, which are names, and then there are verbs, which are actions. So, running is an action, yeah, a verb. Here, Prasaad comes from a longer word, and we talked about this before as well, where Guru Sahib has used a sihari, like in the word murat, it comes from the longer word murti. So when the longer word, which ends with a bihari, with the e sound, has been shortened to murat, Guruji retains that, so you know the origin of the word. Here, this is the same example. What it's saying is Gur Parsaadi. In Punjabi, we might say Gur Parsaad de Naal. And this is where in the English translations you will see it says, by the Guru's grace. The by, with the Guru's grace, from the Guru's grace. That comes from Prasadi, which means Guru de Parsaad de Naal, with the Guru's grace. Otherwise you can say Guru and you can say Prasaad. They are almost two nouns. But this is not just saying Guru's grace, it's saying from the Guru's grace, by the Guru's grace. Gur Parsaadi, through the Guru's grace, you will realize ik onkar up to Satpal. You will understand it, you will obtain it. So it's not just saying that there is oneness and it's beyond time and all these things, and then it's not just saying a blanket statement like Guru's grace. It's saying with the Guru's grace, from the Guru's grace. From the Guru's grace, you will understand all of this. And let's break this word down. Guru. What do we mean by Guru? Some of you will be familiar with this concept already. Guru is made up of two words. One being Gu. The word Gu means darkness. The word Ru means light. And we can see some of these examples that we even use in Punjabi today. In Gurbani, you have the word Gufa. Gufa means cave or dark cave. So we see this idea of Gu being darkness, Gufa. Ru, even today in common language, we talk about Ru di Shanti, peace to that light, that jot, that soul, whatever we want to call it. So Ru means that light. And if we get time, we'll go into where does this word actually get defined as Gu and Ru, and where some of the origin of this is. But for now, let's just look at what do we mean by Guru. If we think about it in our everyday language, within our tradition itself, we can say that Guru has at least 3 forms that we're aware of. So in common language, what do we mean by Guru? We mean some sort of guide, some sort of teacher. Yeah? And what are they teaching? Are they just teaching anything, or are they teaching something specific? In the Indian languages, the word Guru is often used for any great teacher of any tradition. Yeah? So you can have a music guru, or you can have a guru of any art or any science or any knowledge, any vidya. But here specifically we're talking about a teacher of God, a teacher of enlightenment, a teacher of spirituality. So in the initial form, whenever we think about guru or teacher or guide, we actually think about some sort of external teacher. Yeah, something that's going to deliver us some knowledge. And within that definition, we know of at least 3 forms of the Guru. Yeah, shapes. What shape does the Guru take? So let's take the first forms. If we think of Guru, we think of Gurus in a human form. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Angad Dev Ji, for example. Yeah? And by that we mean that anyone who has achieved full enlightenment and has the ability to teach that enlightenment to others, we would call them Guru. In Sukhmani Sahib, one of the sloks starts by saying, Sat Purkh Jin Chanya, Sat Gur Tis Ka Nao. Sat Purkh, that divine existential being, whoever has known that being, whoever knows it, has lived it, has experienced that being, their name is Satgur. So now Guruji starts to define how do you know who a true Guru is? A true Guru, Satgur, is only one who has known the true being, who has experienced it, who has lived it, who is part of it, who is a living, breathing example of everything that it teaches. Sat Purkh Jin Janya, Satgur Tiska Nao. Their name is Satguru. So that's the example of Guru in human form. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji came towards the end of his life, he gave us a new form of Guru. And he introduced the idea that the Guru isn't necessarily limited to one individual. Guru Gobind Singh Ji introduces this idea of the collective being the Guru. And so Guru Gobind Singh Ji introduces this idea of Guru Khalsa. Now, Guru Gobind Singh Ji goes into a lot of detail as to the definition of the Khalsa. What is the Khalsa? What does the Khalsa look like? What are the characteristics of the Khalsa? Yeah? So the Khalsa, again, the definition of the Khalsa is fully in keeping with what Guru Granth Sahib Ji talks about, the fully enlightened being, the one who has dissolved their ego, the one who fights the five evils within them. So the definition of the Khalsa, but he doesn't say that an individual Khalsa can be Guru. He says the collective becomes the Guru. Yeah? So collectively, we all have attributes that would make up one perfect Guru. Look, even if we look at our history, we look at the Gurus, look at someone like Guru Gobind Singh Ji, for example, perfect in Shastra Vidya, perfect in music, writing rags, perfect in poetry, yeah? So many different qualities, perfect example of saintlyhood, warriorhood, manhood, father figure. So all of those characteristics don't necessarily exist within us, but collectively we can all have those. So collectively we bring together the qualities, and together why Guru Gobind Singh Ji says that Khalsa Mero Satgur Pura, the Khalsa is the perfect Guru. That doesn't mean that all of the Sangat is the Guru. It means that all of the enlightened beings getting together, their voice, speaking with a single voice, is as good as the voice of the Guru. Khalsa Mero Satgur Pura. So that's the second form of the Guru. The third form of the Guru, the one that we have the closest relationship with today, is in the form of scripture. And more importantly, in the form of wisdom. And this Guru is known as Shabad Guru. Bani even says, Gur Murat, Gur Shabad hai. The form of the Guru is Shabad. And by Shabad we mean wisdom. And we'll go into that today. What do we mean? What is the purpose of the Guru? So that's definition number one of what Guru actually means. Yeah? Guru means some sort of, but all of these definitions are almost it's external to us, right? Either it's a human Guru, or it's a Shabad Guru, or it's a collective Guru, but all of those definitions are external to us. So that's definition number one, some sort of external form of Guru. Does this mean that we have many Gurus? We talk about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Angad Dev Ji, Shabad Guru. We talk about the Khalsa as the Guru. Does it mean that we have lots of Gurus? You might say we have 10 Gurus, 11 Gurus, 12 Gurus. But the reality is that the individuals aren't the Guru. Guru Nanak Dev Ji isn't the person that we're bowing down to. We're bowing down to the wisdom that exists within him. That's why the jyot of the Guru, the light of the Guru, was able to be passed down from one to the other. This is why we have 10 Gurus. Almost to give this, think about every other spiritual tradition so far. They only have one prophet or Messiah or whatever you want. And that person remains the ideal specimen. Guru Nanak Dev Ji changes this whole tradition about. In no other tradition has the Guruship or the prophethood been passed on. It remains. Look at Christ, look at Muhammad, look at Buddha. They remain within that. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, notice that Sikhi is the newest of all these traditions. It sees what's happening in the other traditions. And what happens is that that person becomes the being that everyone worships. So everyone worships Buddha, everyone worships Muhammad, everyone worships Christ. But actually it's not the people that's of any relevance. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji clarifies this idea that the person isn't the point, that we're missing the point if we're worshipping the person. It's the wisdom that they brought to the world that was what the purpose of their being was here. Why were they born? They were born to give you the wisdom, not to make themselves into a celebrity. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji does away with this idea that the persona is the one who is important. He says the persona is changeable, but the wisdom stays the same. So he passes this on. Guru Angad Dev Ji, Guru Amar Das Ji, and even up to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, they don't stop. Because if they'd have stopped, we'd have just personified 10 gurus. Guruji said that I'm going, but the guru continues. The guru continues into an eternal form. In a way, the guru now never dies, because the guru is everlasting. It's now no longer limited to a single person. It's just distributed amongst the Panth and distributed in Shabad, in Bani. So wisdom is the guru, and that's the most important thing that we have to take away. Shabad and Gyan and knowledge and experience, that's the guru, not the being. Yeah? So another way that we can describe guru. In Punjabi, even today, the word gur means technique. In Punjabi today, the word gur means technique. And you might hear some people say, Tu mainu eda gur das de. Tell me the technique of how to use this thing. So in Punjabi, the word gur is also used to mean technique or method. So that's another definition of guru. So one is external, the Guru Panth, the Guru Khalsa, Shabad Guru. Second is technique. So guru is, as well as being wisdom, it's also a technique. And we'll go into that as well. Another way to understand guru. Let's go back to what the two words are made up of. Gu meaning darkness, Ru meaning light. Another way, and the more specific way that darkness to light applies to us, darkness means ignorance, light means wisdom, knowledge. So within us, transformation of our own ignorance into wisdom is a process of change. That process of change of our darkness going to our light is called guru. The process of change within you from your ignorance to your own enlightenment. This wisdom is already there within you. The wisdom that Guru Nanak talks about is already there within you. You just need a guide to help bring it out. So Guru also means transformation. This is where you now start seeing Bani says that the Guru is always there with you. So Satgur Pyara mere naal hai, jithe kithe mainu le chadai. The beloved Guru is with me always, wherever, whenever it saves me. So now the Guru definition has gone from an external being to something that's within us. So within you, right here, right now, there is Guru within you. There is knowledge within you. But we need help to bring that knowledge out. That's why we have darkness. That is our own ignorance. And what is our ignorance? That I'm an individual sovereign being within my own circumference, within my own walls. I look after myself. We talked about the whole fortress analogy before. Yeah? That is your ignorance. And we talked about the light bulb within the fortress. The knowledge is already there within you. Of course it's there within you because the thing that you're chasing after is also there within you. So then you begin to understand that this is not something that's external to you. Guru isn't necessarily something that's always external to you. So within you, right now, there is Guru, knowledge. And when we go into our Naam Simran, when we go into our meditation, we can see that what we are meditating on is actually something within us. And initially this might seem very conceptual, like it's nice to know, but it isn't necessarily something that we experience right now. These are things that come with time, with practice. So Guru is wisdom. Regardless of the form, it is the message that it portrays. It's the message that it gives. So sometimes we get it. It's very important to also acknowledge this point. In English, there is no word that translates to Guru. What we mean when we say teacher is nowhere near the relationship that we would have with Guru. Yeah? Even when we say the word Guru, the level of reverence that we have towards a Guru is nowhere near the relationship that we would have with just a teacher. So the relationship between Guru and student is very different to teacher and student. One easy way to understand this is if you think that a teacher is one who puts knowledge within you. Yeah? So for example, as a child, you might not know language, for example. The Guru teaches you, the teacher shows you language, alphabets, words, sentences, structure. Yeah? So it's bringing something, new knowledge that your brain has to comprehend and learn. A teacher puts knowledge within you. The Guru brings knowledge out of you. That's a very clear distinction between teacher and Guru. A teacher puts knowledge within you. The Guru brings knowledge out of you, that which is already within you. That just needs to be molded and refined, but it's already there. It's not giving you something new, it's bringing something out that's already there, which is why it's wisdom. Wisdom is being conveyed to you so that that wisdom which is already there starts to alight. That spark that's already there becomes brighter. Where does this wisdom come from? It comes from Ik. So we'll go into this a little bit more. There's no distinction between that which is what we're talking about and that where the wisdom comes from. The wisdom comes from the same source. We'll go into that as well. So this is just the definition of what the Guru is, right? So now the question is, what is the point of a Guru? The Guru is there. What does it do? What is the function of the Guru? Do we mean that the Guru is here to enlighten us? If we say the Guru is here to enlighten us, what do we mean? What does enlightenment mean?
A recent study has shown that over 75% of Sikhs say that their life feels stressful or overwhelming. These feelings can develop into depression, alcohol abuse, or even suicide. We believe that Guru Nanak's wisdom can help transform people's lives. Nanak Naam relies on your donation to help create more videos and podcasts like this to educate people all over the world on how to use Guru Nanak's teachings to improve their emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. Set up a monthly donation today and help change someone's life. Visit nanaknaam.org/donate.
The way I've understood it is the Guru only has one job to do. That is to make you realize what you already are. The Guru has one job. To make you understand and realize, not to teach you, to make you see what you already are. Make you have a better understanding of what you are. Otherwise we're born and we don't really know anything about us. Everything that we know about us is what society and what family and community and everyone else conditions us to think. But the Guru says, just put that to side for a moment. Look within yourself. Tell me what you see. This is why we do meditation. It's looking within yourself. When you look within yourself and you see what's there, that's the function of the Guru. To bring out, to make you aware of what you really are, what your true nature is. And to break this separation of I am an individual and there is some Mr. God that we're trying to get to. Yeah? It's to break that illusion. Even that's conditioning. Otherwise, how would you know about a God? It's only because society and everyone tells you there's this God, go pray to it, go, go, go. It's like you tell little children, quick, 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 go pray to this God thing. And everyone just goes doing it. And we keep doing it. And now we're like 40, 50, 60 years old, we're still doing the same things. Why? Because our parents told us that's a good thing. Don't ask any questions. Go do it. Go to church on Sunday. Go to the Gurdwara on Sunday. You know, just put your nice clothes on and go. And at no point do you actually sit back and say, well, what is this thing? And as soon as you start doing that, most organized religions say, well, we don't really have space for this. And if you don't have your answers answered, straight away you say, well, I can't believe in this anymore. So you start becoming an atheist. You say, well, I don't have the answers to what I need. So I'm an atheist. Let me make one thing clear. And this is one thing that most people have yet to hear. And we haven't covered it so far. Sikhs and Dharam and no true religion believes in God. Guru Nanak did not believe in God. And that will be a shock to most of you. Let me tell you why. Let us look at the word belief. What do we mean by belief? What do you mean by belief? The dictionary definition of the word belief is to put your faith in something that you don't know to be true. So, we can say, I believe in aliens. I've never seen one. I don't know that they exist, but I believe they exist. So I'm putting my faith, if I was to bet on something, I would say, I would bet that they exist. No way to prove it. You could say, I believe in the tooth fairy. Never seen one. I don't know, but I believe they exist. And this is how, so far, society has trained us to have a relationship with God. You have to believe in God. So what you're saying, when you say, I believe in God, you're saying, I'm putting my faith in something that I don't know to be true. And if we say Guru Nanak believed in God, then he spent his whole life teaching you about something that he didn't know to be true. Does that sound like somebody who would spend their whole life teaching us about something that they themselves have never seen? Guru Nanak, more importantly, Sikhs, do not believe in God. We experience God. When you experience God, you know God. We're getting caught up on this word God. By now we should know that we have no faith in this word, right? This word has lots of negative connotations. It means a human father figure, man, white beard, sitting in the clouds. We're not talking about Mr. God, yeah? But for the sake of conversation. If you believe in God, as long as you believe in God, it means you haven't even begun to start looking for it. When you've known it, when you've seen it, when you've sat with it, then you say, I no longer believe in God, I know God. It's like, let's take the ocean analogy. It's like everybody's talking about, have you heard of this thing called the ocean? And we're all living in the desert, so we've never seen the ocean in our life, right? No, I hear it's really good. I hear it's really warm. I hear it's really cold. I hear when you get inside you drown. I hear when you get inside you float. Everybody says something different about it. Then one day somebody comes along and says, yeah, I've been there. And you say, stone him to death. We don't want people like that. Get rid of him. We're happy living in our delusion. Yeah, we're all happy just sharing our stories about, I heard 200 years ago, my great-great-grandfather once said, do you know what I mean? That's the kind of relationship we have with God. Today, let's look at the irony of this. Let's look at within our own Sangat. If somebody stands up in the Sangat and says, you know all this Sikhi stuff, you know all this Gurbani telling you about God, it works. I found it. I've seen God. What will we do to that person? We think they're crazy, right? How dare you stand up and say you've seen God? Yet you spend your whole life worshipping something that tells you to go find God. But if somebody stood up and said, actually, this stuff works. I've actually met God. I talk to God every day. What would you say to that person? We can't accept that. Look at the irony within our own tradition. It's the blind leading the blind. Guru Nanak isn't the blind leading the blind. That's not what he's doing. Guru Nanak has seen, been there, done it, bought the t-shirt, and he's saying, you know what? I'm nothing special. You can do it too. I'll show you how to do it. We have to start changing our language and our perceptions of what it is we're trying to do. If we're spending our whole life worshipping something that secretly we don't really have any desire to go find, you're wasting your time. If you're worshipping something that secretly you think is unattainable, what's the point? It's like practicing to climb a mountain that you know you'll never be able to climb. Well, why bother then? Why do all the hard work? So this is a different type of guru. We're not talking about belief. Just get rid of that word. Sikhs don't believe in God. We know God. We experience God. Because we learn from somebody who's been there, who's done it, who can show us what it is, who tells us, every day tells us, this is what you do. This is what you don't do. This is how you need to think. This is what the obstacles are. This is why you're struggling. This isn't the tradition of the blind leading the blind. In fact, none of the traditions are the blind leading the blind. You don't have great prophets from these traditions, thousands and thousands of years old, still being followed for no reason. There's a reason why people revered them. Because they brought something to the world and said, look, I can show you. Christ said, I reside within the kingdom of within my Father's kingdom. He's basically saying, I'm there. I can see it. I live in His presence. So these people are great masters, spiritual masters for a reason. But the Guru saw that they themselves became idols. They became the forms that people were worshipping. Now in the Christian tradition, everyone is worshipping Christ. No one's listening to what Christ has to say. They're just all talking about how great Christ is. But if Christ was here, He wouldn't tell you to worship Him. He'd say, listen to what I'm saying. Practice what I'm practicing. Do what I'm doing. I'm not here to make myself into a celebrity. I'm here to show you that you yourself can become a celebrity. Yeah? So this is the Guru's tradition. The tradition is to say, that which is within you, I can show you. The Guru is the catalyst to bring it up out of you. Yeah? So the Guru has one job, to bring that out of you. Yeah? To make you understand that you are part of something bigger. And we hear this in Japji Sahib. Gura ik deh pujari. The Guru gives me one understanding. Sabna jiyan ka ik data. That everything belongs to the one Master, and may I never forget it. So main visar na jaye. Gura ek deh pujari. Guru only has one thing to show me. Guru only gives me one understanding. There's only one thing that the Guru is here to do. Is to make you realize that you're part of something greater. Yeah? So main visar na jaye. And shows me techniques that I may never forget. Simple, really. Guru is not a complex concept. And Guru is not trying to be complex. Sometimes we think that the Guru is really complicated. You know, most of us are too afraid to even read Gur Parsaad because it's like, oh, it's this big ancient text with ancient words and things like that. We don't even know what to do with it. And we're just like, okay, I'll just buy some ramals and make it look nice and bow to it. But I never actually, I dare not read it. I haven't washed my hair today, or I ate something on a Tuesday. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, we've ritualized the Guru. The Guru says, don't do all that. Come, sit with me, have a conversation with me. So the function of the Guru is to bring something out of you, that knowledge out of you. The next question is, what is the relationship between Guru and God? Are they two distinct things? Now this is something, again, that we need to spend a bit of time to understand. The Guru is always a part of God. The way that the sun and the rays of sunlight are essentially the same thing, in the same way Guru is a ray of light of the oneness of the divine. It is never separate from God. The Guru and God are never separate. If God is the thing, Guru is the knowledge of the thing. The Guru is the manual of the thing. The oneness, the big cheese that we're all trying to get a bite of. So, you can almost say that Guru is a function of God. Now, in the Indian tradition, in the Hindu tradition, Every function of God was called Devta. Devta. And what do we mean by this? So, you know how we've got this idea that, for example, we can say that God creates. One of the things that that God does is it creates things. So we can call creativity one of God's functions. Following me so far? Creativity is something that God does. Yeah? Please excuse the fact that I'm using this word God. Yeah? We know we're not talking about God, right? This oneness, for the sake of conversation, we have to use it in simplistic terms. But oneness, isness, creates things. So the function, one of the things that it does, it creates. Another thing that it does is it destroys. Yeah? It destroys things. Things are created, they have to be destroyed. So we can understand quite easily that the oneness, God, has many functions. It does many things. In the Indian tradition, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, they identified all these functions, and each function was given a name and a form, and they called them Devta. So the creative function of God was called Brahma. The destruction function of God was called Shiva, and they gave it a nice form and everything like that. And Shiva looks like this, and he's got a big spear and all this kind of stuff, and Brahma is doing this, he's sitting on a lotus, all that kind of stuff. So just as God has many functions, you know how you see like these Indian kind of murtis, the Hindu murtis, and you'll see a figure that has many arms? That's what it's saying. The one being has many different functions, and each hand is holding something different. Yeah? That's what it's trying to convey, this message, that the one being has many functions. And of all the different functions, one of the function is to awaken you. That function, that Devta, is called Guru. Creativity is called Brahma, destruction is called Shiva, and enlightenment is called Guru. So one of the things that the oneness does is it enlightens. That Devta is called Guru. And what Gurbani says is that all the Devtas worship the highest Devta, which is Guru. The Guru, of all the functions of God, the highest function, the most important, the most significant function of God is the Guru function of God. Of all the functions, of all the things that God does, the most important thing, the highest thing that it does is to enlighten, to make people, to make its own creation aware of its own self. So the Guru is nothing more than another function of God, but it's the highest function of God. This is where we have the word Gurdev. Guru is a Devta, is a function of God. Let's take this even further. People get really scared when we talk about Devi Devte. Yeah, they say, oh, it's about Hinduism and all that sort of stuff, and they get really scared. Sikhism, nothing to do with Hinduism, we're a unique religion, blah, blah, blah. Right? I have no interest in promoting Hinduism in any way. I'm simply trying to explain context. Yeah? So look at this word Devta. We have the word Gurdev. Let's look at Guru Nanak. His parents didn't name him Nanak Dev. Dev was a title given to him. If we're scared of using this word Devta, we call Guru Nanak Nanak Dev Ji. Dev means Devta. Guru Angad Dev Ji. Yeah? We're calling the Guru your function of God. And what a great honor to give somebody, to say that you are a Devta, you are God personified into one function. So Guru Nanak, his parents didn't call him Nanak Dev. We called him that, Devta. So we shouldn't be afraid of these words. And of all the Devtas, the highest Devta is the Guru Devta. Why? Yeah, Bani says, Gur Jaisa Nahi Ko Dev. Of all the Devtas, there's no one like the Guru Devta. Gur Jaisa Nahi Ko Dev. There is no Devta as high as the Guru Devta. Why? If God does so many things, creates, destroys, sustains, this, all that, why is Gur Jaisa, why is the Guru's Devta the highest form of Devta? This is explained in Guru Nanak Dev Ji's beginning of Asa Diwar. Balhari Gur Apne Dewhari Sadwar. I bow down to my Guru thousands of times a day. Jin manas te devte kiye karat na lagiwar. Because he has the ability to convert man into a devta. Think about that. All the other devtas, let's say the devta of destruction, that's all it does, it just destroys things. The devta of creation just creates things. The devta of Guru makes more devtas. Jin manas te devte kiye. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is coming to the world, and look at the statement that he's making. He's saying, all these Devi Devta that you're worshipping, put them down. Don't worship Brahma. Don't just worship Shiva. Don't just worship Vishnu. Put them down. He said, I'll make you into a Devta. Look at the statement that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is making in a predominantly Hindu society. He said, you're all worshipping these, you're creating a duality, you're creating something that's far away from you. He says, I will raise you. The Guru has the ability to raise you to become a Devta. Man's ultimate potential is to become a function of God. When you are an individual, you have no relationship with the whole divine. When you lose your individuality, you become part of the divine. Your work is the divine's work. What you do is instructed from divine. You become just a vehicle for the divine to do its work. You become a function of God. You become a Devta. How do you become a Devta? You lose your ego. Lose your self-identity that I am an individual and I'm in control of my own destiny. Lose that and you become just an empty vessel for the divine to flow through you. So this is the function of Guru, is to raise you into Devta. And how do you do this? How do you do this? You do this by surrendering to the Guru. Let the Guru show you how to be. If you remain within the mind, you are mind-facing constantly. You're constantly just listening to your mind. Right mind, tell me what to do next. You wake up in the morning, mind says get up, brush your teeth, get ready, go to work. You're mind-facing. That's called man-mukh, mind-facing. When you lose your connection with this mind, not that you don't get up in the morning and you don't brush your teeth and you don't get ready, it's not all the same. Yeah? It's not about that. But it's about being led by the mind all the time. When you're led by Guru, and you're led by the wisdom of the Guru, you carry on brushing your teeth, but no longer is it you brushing the teeth. Then it's this is you, this is you, this is you. Every moment becomes a moment in which this vehicle recognizes the greater being. Yeah? So from mind-facing, you become wisdom-facing. From manmukh to gurmukh. Yeah, today we use the word manmukh like it's a swear word. Yeah, so I'm a gurmukh, I used to cut my hair, I was a manmukh, now I'm a gurmukh, I grow my hair. Yeah, I used to be a drinker, a smoker, this and that, and now I'm eating the right things and I'm waking up early and praying in the morning and all that sort of stuff. You say I'm a gurmukh. That's not the definition of manmukh and gurmukh. We are all constantly hopping between two states of consciousness, mind-facing or universal consciousness-facing, awareness-facing. If we're aware, we're awake. When we're back lost into the noise of the mind, we're mind-facing. So we are constantly moving between these two states, manmukh and gurmukh. It's not a black and white thing. I used to be a manmukh, now I'm a gurmukh. That's not true. It's a constant kind of tightrope that you're walking on. You can always fall off. So guru-facing means that I am constantly listening to that deep wisdom that sits within me, that says that there's a greater purpose in life, I'm part of something bigger. Mind facing is it says, forget all that, I need to go do this and I need to do that, and I don't like that person and he said that to me and she did this to me and all that kind of stuff. Yeah? Where we create individuality. The biggest mistake that we do, and I think we've covered this before, the biggest mistake we do is when you do your Nitnem, you do your prayers in the morning, as soon as you close the gutka, you say, you put it away, now I can get on with my mind. That's the biggest mistake that we do. When you close the gutka, don't close the awareness, don't close the Simran, don't open the book of the mind again. The mind is a very useful tool, it's there, it has things to do. Yeah, it has to remind you, don't forget to pick up the dry cleaning, don't forget to... It has things to remind you, it's good for that. But don't make it your master that you like listening like a dog just following his master all the time. Yeah? So we talk about what is Guru, what does a Guru look like, what is the relationship between Guru and God, but more importantly, and I like to always bring it back to us, what is our relationship with Guru? What should we do about this function of God that enlightens? All sounds nice, right? Make it practical. What do we do with it? The Guru is never foreign to you, is never separate from you.
Have you found that spiritual teachings are great to learn, but not always easy to apply to your own life? Sometimes we all need a bit of support and guidance from people who know what we're going through and can help us find some answers. The Nanak Naam Facebook group helps you do just that. It's an online community where you can ask any questions about life and get answers from other members of the group. Search for Nanak Naam Community Support and join our free Facebook group today.
The source of what you are is Guru. Because Guru is God. So you come from that divine. Yeah? You come from that divine. You're made up of this stuff. That light, that's Guru as well. It's very subtle, the difference. If light is God, then the light aware of its own light is Guru. It's very subtle. It's the light being aware of its own lightness. That's Guru. So there's no real distinction between Guru and God. And then what is the difference between you and Guru? Well, if that light is within you and that's what you're made of, that's what keeps you alive, then you and Guru are the same as well. But we just don't know it. That's why we need to be awakened. This isn't someone just planting some knowledge within you. This is, oh yeah, it is actually within me. I get it. It's me. The thing that you're looking for in Sikhi is you. And if there's one thing you take away from this, you are what you are looking for. Straight away, I can hear it. I can hear the voices saying, well, what do you mean? The mind is saying, but I know where I am. I'm right here. It's that guy you need to go and look at. That guy, the voice in your head, is saying, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that shiny car. Oh, look at that nice job. Oh, the neighbors, they've got a new lawnmower. That mind is constantly distracting you and showing you nice new shiny things and making you distracted. Oh, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. Meditation and Sikhi is you looking at the mind and saying, what the hell are you? Who are you? What is this thing that's going on inside me? Who is talking and who is listening? For a moment, stop thinking about what the mind is showing you, distracting you with. I always say this, right? I saw a great t-shirt. I was in central London once. It was a lady's t-shirt in a shop. And it said, I was going to take over the world, but then I saw something sparkly. Right? That's how the mind works.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a male or female thing. All of our minds work like that. I was going to take over the world, but then something just came along and distracted me. Yeah? For a split second, I had the potential to do it, and then something else came and just said, oh, well, what about this? Oh, yeah, I'll just buy that instead. I'll just distract myself with this. And you'll notice we do this all the time. Yeah? Mobile phones is a great example. Yeah? Of our obsession with the next model. Right? Especially the younger ones. Right? We all got a mobile phone, iPhone 6, Samsung S6, S7, blah, 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 right? So think about the scenario. You spend ages lusting after this phone. Samsung, S7, Galaxy, Edge, shiny, blah, 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 right? It does this and it does that and it'll, make your coffee in the morning and all that sort of stuff. You buy that. What are you basically saying? You're saying to the world, hey, I'm important, check me out. Yeah, if you live on a deserted island, doesn't matter whether you have a S1, S3, S7. Doesn't matter, right? Because who are you going to show off? So the only reason we have this kind of addiction towards it is because we're competitive against other people. So let's say for 6 months you've been lusting after this thing, you're saving your money, you buy it. Yeah, great, fantastic. The next day, they release the S8. What are you going to feel like? You're going to feel like rubbish again. More importantly, what's your mind going to think? Think how ludicrous this mindset is. Yeah? So it's going to switch on 3 seconds faster, and the screen is not 1 inch bigger. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're not. What difference is it going to make? But the mind doesn't understand that. The mind is like, no, this is really important. You have to really get this thing. Yeah? You lust after something, the day you get it, the next model comes out, then you feel like rubbish. You're like, oh my God, I wish I could get this. Like the thing that you thought was going to make you happy, instantly that thing is making you sad. The thing that you thought would make you happy, the next day, it makes you sad. And it's the same with all materialism. The whole world, right? Relationships, exactly the same thing. You think your partner, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, are going to make you happy. After a while, they're making you miserable. So, all right, you're making me miserable. Let's have some kids. Kids will make you. You say, oh, kids, he's a bundle of joy, he's a this, he's that. And let them grow up. They're making you miserable as well.
Should get the full one.
Am I wrong? All of the material world works in this way. Why? It's not their fault. It's the mind. That's what the mind is constantly. The mind is never satisfied. So for once, stop and just look at this mind and say, what on earth are you? What are you that I'm running after you all the time? That's the function of the Guru. To show you what is your mind. The Guru is more like a mirror than anything else. It just shows in front of you, right, this is why you function like this. This is why you think like this. This is why you get upset. This is why you get happy. This is why you're running after happiness, running away from sadness. That's what we're doing. The Guru is a mirror, just showing you to yourself. But if we work with the Guru that way, if we just worship the mirror and put a heart on it every day and put some coins in front of it and mata take the mirror, what's the point of the mirror? Look at it. Look at yourself. That's the purpose of the Guru, to show you yourself. And when you see yourself, you get a better understanding of what's really you, what's not really you, and eventually you see the light that is shining out of you. So what is the distinction between you and Guru? It's not much. The Guru is what you're made of. That's why we hear lines like Gurudev Mata, Gurudev Pita. Of course, the Guru is your mother and your father, because it is out of Guru that you're made. It's out of this oneness that you're made. Yeah? So it's something within you that is being externalized in order to show you yourself. Yeah? The wisdom is within you. But you need an external Guru. It's like, why do you need a mirror? Because you know what you look like. But you need the mirror to show you what you look like to yourself. That's what the Guru is. The mirror isn't showing you something new. It's showing you you. But the mirror has to be externalized in order to present you back to you. The Guru is the same. It has to be externalized to present you back to yourself. But for sake of ease, the Guru is being externalized. Yeah? But not so that we can worship this Guru. Guru Nanak Dev Ji isn't interested in you in how much flowers you give him and how much coins you place in front of him. No interest in that. What's he going to do with it? He's not going to take it with him. What's he going to do with it? He's here to teach you. If he's not teaching you, then it doesn't matter how much coins you put in front of him. It doesn't matter how many times you bow to him. Doesn't matter how many times you just repeat the words that he's saying. Yeah, that's the other mistake we make. Just repeat the words that he's saying. I'm going to get up every day. I'm going to read the Guru Nanak speech. Yep. Satnam. Don't do that. If you're just going to repeat the Guru Nanak speech, Guru Nanak doesn't want that from you. He wants that speech to go within you for them to realize, okay, there is a oneness. What does that mean? So this self-reflection is a very important part of what we're trying to achieve here. But yet there's no space for this. You can't even come to the Gurdwara and do self-reflection. Yeah? There are people just throwing more Guru's words at you all the time. When it's like, enough. Let me actually process it. Let me actually start digesting it. Let me do stage 1. Let me understand it. Let me do stage 2, stage 3. There's no almost system that we're presented with that says, right, if I know nothing from day 1, how do you take me from day 1 all the way to day 100? What is that process? We're just kind of throwing you in the deep end and says, Naam Japo, Amrit Chako, Guru Wale Bano. It's like, I can't do all that stuff because I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, just keep doing it and some lightning will strike and it'll all be okay. Yeah? Guru Nanak doesn't work in that way. No teacher works in that way. Very methodical, very system. But you have to have the patience and the willingness to say, right, page 1, word number 1, where do I start? This is why I'm putting so much emphasis on the Mool Mantar. If we don't spend enough time understanding the Mool Mantar, forget it. You're not going to understand the rest of Guru Parsaad. I'm not saying that my definition is the complete definition of the Mool Mantar. How can you have the complete definition? But at least let's spend some time really digesting this stuff, really understanding it. So we need to know that by the end of the Mool Mantar, the rest of Guru Parsaad is just to explain and teach you how to understand this more. But this is what we're talking about. Nothing else there is for you to learn except Ikonkar to Gur Parsaad. Yeah, there's nothing else more to learn. The rest of the 1,400 odd pages is just to make you understand this concept. That's why it's really important that we understand what is it that we're talking about. We're talking about ourselves. So when we say that the Guru is with us, when we talk about Gurmukh and Manmukh, what we're talking about is rather than observing the world through our own experience, through our own eyes, we're observing the world through the divine. So when you're looking at the world, it's no longer you looking at him and her, it is the divine looking at the divine. That's the practice, that's what the Naam Simran is. That's the slowly, you hear about, if you go to the Sant tradition, you hear about this idea that Naam Simran is a washing away. Yeah, the more Naam Simran you do, it's like a cleansing, it's constantly washing away. And that's completely true, but only if you know what needs to be washed. So it is to be in the presence of the Guru means to witness the world through its eyes. So no longer should it be that I am talking to you, it should be the Guru is talking to the Guru. The divine is talking to the divine. Now look at examples that we see in our history. Look at Bhai Kanhaiya Ji's story, perfect example, where he was just feeding water to all the wounded, no matter which tradition, whether they were on the left or the right of the war, he didn't see the difference. And when he was questioned on it, he said, all I see is you. I can't see any distinction between them. Yeah? So he loses that distinction of me and you. Yeah? Is to lose the distinction of me and you. So to be in the presence of the Guru means that you're no longer witnessing yourself as an individual, and you're no longer, seeing the world through the eyes of the individual. The divine is seeing the world through the divine. And doing this is the only definition of Satgur ki Seva. Where Bani talks about serve the Guru, this is the only definition of serving the Guru. This is the only definition of Seva in Guru Parsaad Ji. Again, something we're not taught. We're taught everything that you come and do in the Gurdwara, that's Seva. Giving to charity, that's Seva. That's not the definition of Seva. Why does Guru Nanak care if you give loads of money to charity? What does that do? If his function is to make you awakened, and to lose your own ego. What is you doing things in the world going to make a difference? I'm not saying don't give to charities. No, go ahead, do what you want. But don't think that that's actually some sort of spiritually enlightening act. That's not what it is. Seva means one thing, to serve this wisdom. If the Guru means wisdom, then how do you serve wisdom? You have to live it, you have to practice it, you have to be in awareness of it. Otherwise, there's no other definition of Guru ki seva. Gurbani says, Satgur ki seva so kare jis bin se home ta. Only that person does true seva whose fever of ego has been eradicated. That's the definition of seva. Eradicating the ego, losing the self of I, that is the definition of seva. Satgur ki seva. That doesn't mean you don't go and clean the dishes or jodi on the seva and all that, but that's not the point. Yeah? That's just nice stuff to do. That's just being a good human within a community. It says, help the community out, whatever the community needs. We feed each other, we look after each other, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and that goes beyond distinctions of religion. Yeah, we're not just supposed to serve our own people. We just look after the Sikhs. What's the point of that? Yeah, recognize the human race as one. Manas ki jaat sab ek hai pehchan. Guru Gobind Singh says, recognize everyone as one race. But seva is something very specific in Gurbani. Satgur ki seva means I am practicing this wisdom. Seva does not mean cleaning the dishes in the Gurdwara. Guru Nanak Dev Ji will stress this importance of Guru so much that the Gurus go as far as saying, Bin Satgur kine na payo. Without a Guru, nobody has ever obtained this oneness. Nobody has ever obtained this oneness. Now, if we take the definition of Guru to be something external, then that statement isn't true. Because there are fully enlightened beings like Buddha who was enlightened without a Guru. And there are millions and hundreds and thousands of enlightened beings throughout time who've just made themselves enlightened. Who've just got that wisdom. Yeah? So the definition of Guru can't be something external, because there are people who have become enlightened without an external teacher. But the statement of Bani can't be false. So Bani is saying that nobody has ever found enlightenment without a Guru. But if we go back to these other translations of Guru, that Guru means the transformation within you. Nobody's ever found enlightenment without this internal transformation. That makes perfect sense. Nobody has ever found the oneness, enlightenment, without this wisdom, without the wisdom of the complete divine. That makes perfect sense. Bin Satgur kine na payo. Nobody has obtained this oneness without a Guru, without this transformation from ignorance to awareness. So I know there's quite a lot that we've covered, but I think that's kind of what you've come to expect now. There's quite a lot in every lesson, right? It just goes to show how much there is in just one word, Guru. Let's quickly talk about Prasaad. How do we get its grace? Prasaad means grace. Another point about pronunciation, look at this little letter here. That is a half R, the letter R, is a half one. Time and time again we hear people saying Gur Parsaad, like it's a whole letter in its own right. That is not the correct pronunciation. It's Gur Prasaad. The P and the R are joined together. The R is a small R joined to the P. So just for your own pronunciation, it's Gur Parsaad, not Gur Parsaad. Unless in Gurbani it's written with a full Rara, it should not be pronounced Gur Parsaad unless it's written in that way. But in the Mool Mantar, it's Gur Parsaad. Yeah, something for you to be aware of, not Gur Parsaad. So, if Prasaad means it's grace, it's gift to you, to the mankind, what do we mean by that? What is this Guru that's going to give us some sort of gift? Its very presence that's always there is its grace. It's always there. It never leaves you. That's its grace. Whether you're interacting with it or not, that's different. But it's always there. How do we understand that analogy? A very simple way to understand it. Imagine you're sitting in a room and all the curtains are closed. And you're blaming the sun for not lighting up the room. And you say, why doesn't the sun lighten up my room? The sun is there. It can't do any more. It's shining. It's doing everything. Yeah? You have to open the curtains. That's all you have to do. But you have to do that, right? You can't blame the sun, saying the sun shines on everybody else but doesn't shine on me. You got to do something. You got to step in the right direction. You have to open the curtain. There is a step that you have to take that says, actually, I want to participate in this. So as soon as you open the curtain, the sunlight comes flooding in. That's the same with Gur Parsaad. The grace is always there, but if you're just going to sit in your mind and say, I'm just going to listen to my mind all the time, the Guru's not giving me anything, then you haven't taken that step. Now look at what Bhai Gurdas Ji says. Charan Sharan Gur Ek Penda Jai Chal Satgur Kot Penda Awaken. Take one step towards the Guru, and the Guru takes millions of steps towards you. You have to take that step that says, I'm now dedicated to this wisdom. If you're going to ignore the wisdom, then don't expect the wisdom to have any impact on you. You have to make that conscious effort. That's why it's like the sunlight. You've got to open the curtains. You've got to actually say, I want to participate in this. This stuff sounds right. It feels right. I'm going to give it a go. You take one step, the Guru takes millions of steps towards you. Because once you open it, it's the floodgates just come pouring in. And hopefully you'll see the impact that just in the last couple of weeks, these lessons that we've had, this is the Guru's floodgates pouring into you. Yeah? And hopefully you'll see the impact that it's had on your lives. And the way that you think, the way that you interact with the world, the way that you see the world should change. Because the Guru you've made the step. The step that says, right, show me what the Guru is all about. And then it's a very slow process of just slowly unraveling. Tomorrow you might say, oh, I get this now, and I understand this a little bit differently. And every day there's a learning opportunity and something new. You've never fully learnt it, yeah? We're called Sikhs for a reason. Sikh means learner. You never stop learning. Yeah? How can you stop learning? It's a constant unfolding. What we're learning about is the entire universe, and that what the universe was before it was the universe, and that which it'll ever be, and all that sort of stuff. You're never going to stop learning. You're never going to stop learning about yourself. Every day you change, so what you need to learn about yourself changes. Every day you do something new, something different. You react in a different way that you haven't reacted before. So it's a constant learning process. But just take that step that says, actually, I want to learn from you. I want to have this unfolding. So the Guru's Prasaad, Gurmukh hove so kaya khojai, hor sab param pulaye. Gurmukh hove so kaya khojai. This is a profoundly beautiful statement. That person who is Gurmukh, Guru facing, is one who searches their own self. Gurmukh hove so kaya khojai. Kaya means body. One who looks within their own body. Hor sab param pulai. Everything else is delusion and false. Think about what that means for our life as a Sikh. Think about what that means for religions. All religious rituals are false. There is only one ritual to search within yourself and realize what you are. Gurmukh hove, the Guru facing is one who searches his own body. Everything else is delusion, is false, is ritual. Yeah? So all of this stuff, if it's not making you aware, then it's taking you in the wrong direction. That means growing your hair, that means taking Amrit, that means doing your Nitnem. if they're not having an impact on you and they're not making you more and more aware of what the Guru is saying, then it's just increasing your ego. The one thing these things are meant to do is to destroy your ego. And if you don't let it destroy your ego, then you're allowing it to add to your ego. It's a nice shiny brick that you place at the top of the fortress. Say, right, look at this now. I have a fortress made of gold, like this shiny Guru. But the Guru Nanak's trying to break the fortress. Yeah? Gurmukh hove so kaya khoje. One who is Guru facing is one who searches their own self. Or sab parampalaya. Everything else is useless. That's the Guru's grace. Just being aware of this wisdom all the time is having your curtains open all the time. Every time you're back in the mind, you shut the curtains. Every time you're aware for just a moment, those curtains are open. The grace is always there. Do you see? The Guru's wisdom is always there. Are you always there is the question. Are you actually present? Are you listening to the Guru at every moment? The Guru doesn't exist in the Gurdwara, yeah? The Guru isn't just limited to the Gurdwara. The Guru is here with you all the time. The wisdom is with you all the time. Yeah? We have a habit of coming to the Gurdwara and we're really respectful, and our whole posture and our demeanor and everything changes. We just become all Waheguru. We just become these perfect little Gurmukhs. And we go outside and into the car park and we just start insulting and slandering, and you see what he was doing, to see what she was wearing, and all that you forget. Why? Because you think you're now away from the Guru. You've left the Guru's darbar. You've left the presence of the Guru. But what we don't realize is that the Guru never leaves you. The presence of the Guru is always there. Don't leave the presence of the Guru. You can't. So Satgur Pyara mere naal hai. The Guru is with me all the time. Only if you realize it, if you open the curtain, then you'll realize it. And when does Gur Parsaad exist? We talked about time a little bit before. Does it exist in the past? Does it exist in the future? It exists now. There is no past, there is no future. There is only now. Right here, right now. Right now. The Guru's kirpa is there right now. The grace is there. And it's the reason why it's the Guru's grace is because when you achieve this final enlightenment and you become one with the oneness and all that great stuff, all that point you will realize that it was never your effort. If by the end you said, I am enlightened and I have achieved it, then the I am hasn't gone. So the point at which enlightenment happens and you say, right, I get it now. But it was never my achievement. This is one thing that Gurbani stresses time and time again. It's never your achievement. Why? Not to belittle you, but to not even leave one shred of ego left in you. This is a very sophisticated psychology that the Guru gives you. It doesn't allow for a single shred of ego to be left in you. At every point, it just cuts you down and says, nope, it's not you. It's not your doing. If it's your doing, you're holding on to something. You're holding on to a tiny part of your individuality. It's not yours. It's the Guru's doing. That's why it's created this whole Guru thing. Because you surrender to the Guru and you say, the Guru, you're doing everything. Because if at any point you say, I'm doing something, then the I am is there. And that's the one thing that the Guru is trying to destroy, is the I am. So you're saying it's not yours, it's not yours, it's not your grace. Give it all up. It's nothing to do with you. So the Guru's grace is always there. It's present. And so what you're doing, the first step, what were you talking about, this curtain analogy? The first step is to say, I'm going to try and... There's an I am that has to do the first step. And as soon as you take the first step, what comes out is that I am not. The I am takes the first step, but the next million steps is to make the I am realize that I am not. You are not present. This thing that you call you is an illusion. There is no you. There's only one part of you that will question that, and that's this guy here, the mind, that says, that doesn't sound right, I am here. Yeah? This is what this whole thing, it's a training.
If you enjoy learning spiritual teachings and you're looking to deepen your understanding, the most effective way is to learn with a group of friends. Right now, you can set up your very own Nanak Naam meetup group from the comfort of your own homes. Gather your friends, family members or colleagues and start your very own wisdom group by visiting livingwithwisdom.org. There, you'll find a range of Nanak Naam courses designed specifically for groups that you can watch together and discuss. A growing number of people have already started their very own wisdom groups, and it's having a huge positive impact on their lives. Find out how easy it is to start your own wisdom group by visiting livingwithwisdom.org.
So the one looking for God is the I am. The one looking for God is the I am. But he's always looking elsewhere. Because our mind spends all the time looking at shiny things elsewhere, it thinks that God is like the ultimate shiny thing. Yeah? That we want a shiny car, a shiny phone, all this shiny house. God becomes the ultimate shiny thing. But what we're saying is no, we're not behaving in that way. We're not dealing with this in that way. We're not just keeping the I am as it is and just hoping to get one big massive piece of the pie called God. We're actually saying the I am, the one looking for God, is the thing that we have to find it in. The one looking for God is ultimately God itself. The one looking for God is ultimately God itself. This is why this is not an external path. This is why it's an internal path. Look within yourself and you will see that the one looking for God is just a label that you've called it I am. If your desire is that I am wants to become enlightenment, I am wants to become enlightened, then there's still an I am saying I want to become enlightened. That's why actually in our tradition, the Guru doesn't even offer you enlightenment. He's not even offering you enlightenment because that would be something else for you to hold on to. Yeah? Are you enlightened? Yeah. You want enlightenment? Guru is not even offering you enlightenment. It's offering you the opportunity to just dissolve yourself, lose yourself. That's why this is the path of giving your head. Lose yourself, give yourself away. This is not about you gaining anything. Sikhi is about zero gain and 100% loss. Sounds tragic, right? Sounds traumatic. But that's the beauty of it. Yeah? In the real world, we're trying to gain and we don't want to lose anything. In the spiritual world, you're trying to lose everything. You don't want to gain anything. It's the complete opposite. Ask for nothing and give everything. That's what Gurumukh means. Ask for nothing. In your meditation, don't hope for anything to happen. Don't want anything. Don't desire anything. Not even God. I don't desire God. I don't desire enlightenment. This is the path of giving, surrendering, realizing that it was yours to begin with. Yeah, we talk about tan, man, dhan, sab saunp gur ko. Body, mind, possessions, everything. Surrender it to the Guru. It's not mine. Give everything to the Guru. Kabir, mera mujh mein kuch nahi, jo kuch hai so tera. Yeah? Kabir, nothing is mine, everything is yours. Tera tujhko sohbate kya lage mera. If I give to you what was yours to begin with, what have I lost? Very sophisticated way of thinking. Yeah? We have to learn, we have to practice, we have to actually realize this, become this every day. This is not the path of gaining, it's only the path of giving. Ultimately, you have to ask yourself an important question, and I'll end with this. If this is the path of gaining, if you don't actually ever challenge this mind, you have to then ask yourself, how long are you going to be a slave to this mind? How long is this mind going to be your master? How long are you going to stay there? And ultimately, this mind who's constantly distracted you, constantly said, go for this and go for that, and now that you got this education, now go for a PhD. After you've done your PhD, become a this, become a that. Now that you achieved your career, now get married. Now you got married, now have children. Now you get your children married. That's like your mind is constantly saying, you're not going to be happy. If you're going to be a slave to that guy, what has he ever got you that has made you happy? If that mind is your master, if you're going to be manmukh, mind-facing, then you have to ask yourself, does this mind give me everything I'm looking for? Because by now, it should have given you everything. You've been running after it your whole life. It should have given you everything by now, right? But it hasn't. It keeps saying, oh, what about this and what about that? So the mind, as long as it's your master, you are mind-facing. You are going to follow the mind. The Guru says, I offer you an alternative. Gur Mukh. And that is its grace. Gur Parsaad. I'm aware how much this is, right? I'm aware of that. Okay, but there's no easy way to do this. At every step of the way, the only thing I'm trying to do is it feels like you might go away thinking that's too much. But it's intentional. I want to break every single part of you down so there's nothing left of you, to the point at which if I ask you your name, you don't even know what your name is anymore. That's the whole point. The point is for you to just lose what you think you know. And for you to just be like, I don't know anything, I don't understand anything, I don't know who I am. Good. Now you're ready.
Answer the following questions either by writing them down or discussing them in your groups. What is your understanding of Guru and what is your relationship with it? Does divine wisdom always come from external sources, or is there merit in seeking inner guidance as well? Why is it important to be open to wisdom from mentors or spiritual figures in your life? What are some examples of receiving the Guru's grace in your own life?